The most important things to do your sophomore year in high school.
This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, episode number 208. Welcome to the world's longest running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. I'm John Fugler, founder of Recruit Me, along with the new Recruit Me CEO, Brent Hanks. As athletic scholarship coaches, we want to help you as a family succeed in the recruiting world and get a scholarship for your student athlete. Reach dads of D1 athletes and have a wealth of experience to share. This podcast is 15 minutes that will change your scholarship future each week. You can find every episode on your favorite podcast app or on our website at recruitme.com. Brent, it's always, we start out and say, where's Brent this week? Because you're out there competing and we're all kind of jealous of that. But where are you talking from this episode?
Well, it's been a lot of fun, John. We're actually in OKC. We're in Oklahoma City.
Okay. And you got a big tournament going on there?
Yeah, there's a tournament. We got to play today. We played today at 1 o'clock, and then we've got games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we'll move on to Lubbock, Texas.
Oh, man. So you're going to be out on the road for a while.
Yeah, I get to do the hotel stuff.
Okay, so as our listeners are listening to this podcast, Brent is traveling around, and we're recording this on what day is this? This is Thursday, isn't it?
This is a Thursday, yes.
Okay, a little bit ahead of time here, and looking forward to just following you around. And one of the things, so what's the situation there as far as you're able to compete at will, it seems? Are they limiting the number of teams, limiting the number of people? Any safeguards going on during coronavirus?
Yeah, we had to. All the fans had to wear masks here in Oklahoma. The players did not. They're doing little stuff like no team meetings, after the game. They're not shaking hands. They're kind of just tipping their hat at each other. And so warm-ups are a little bit different than what they have been before games, and then they want you to kind of go on and get out of the park so the next team can come in. But otherwise, it's baseball.
Nice. And baseball season just opened, Major League Baseball, for a short season. You're going to play just about as many games this summer as the major leaguers are.
Yeah, we're not going to get paid as well.
That's right. You get a portion of the zero that you always get paid. Yeah. Hey, we're in the midst here of this 4-part series, what to do in each year of high school, and coming through the summer and families getting ready for the next year. Last week we talked about freshman year. This week we're talking about sophomore year, specific things that you can do, because this is the most asked question is, when do we start? And then second, oftentimes we get asked, well, what do I do this year? I'm sophomore. What do I do? My kid's a junior. What's the most important thing to do? But Brent, as we go into this, what are some things that you might want to link together from freshman year to sophomore year?
Yeah, as we start our sophomore year, we are going to basically go back and do some of the steps that we did our freshman year. So this is a good review for the people that didn't hear last week's episode 207. So as a sophomore, you want to go back and keep doing or repeat some of these steps like we talked about last week. Keep going to college games. If there's some college basketball games, soccer matches, whatever might be around you that you can go watch whenever things get halfway back to normal, go watch college games and see what the speed and the size and you can kind of see if you can compete at those levels. Keep working on individual skills and strengths like we talked about last week. Sometimes as a freshman, sophomore, the student athlete may not be the size they need to get recruited hard and heavy. So we want to keep working on our individual skills and strengths. Keep driving through college campuses. I did a full podcast on that. And so as we travel, whether it's travel for your games, for your tournaments, or for just family vacations, maybe take a little extra time and drive through college campuses that you might be nearby. Watch your social media, clean it up, and make sure it looks good for social media purposes. Sit down with your high school counselor. So as a freshman, we talked about getting set up correctly with your core classes. Well, we want to check our GPA and also our classes and make sure we're set up to be able to go on to college and continue getting good grades. And then kind of the last thing that we talked about our freshman year that we want to do our sophomore year is to continue to research colleges and research the recruiting process and keep getting better at that. And I kind of listened back on episode 199. I think you talked a lot about different ways that you can research colleges.
Yeah, and, as parents and athletes, as you listen to this, what Brent is talking about is a wide variety of things you do in this whole recruiting experience. And it's maybe eye-opening for you. You think, well, we just got to go out and get my son or daughter competing and get seen, and then they're recruited, and it all just happens. But there are so many other things involved. As you heard him talk about going to some college games or matches, competition, driving through campuses, researching, cleaning up your social media. These are things that are all involved in the holistic recruiting process, and that's key because it doesn't end. And freshman and sophomore year, you're laying the foundation so you can be effective and it becomes more natural in the years ahead. Brent, now let's zero in on some new things that you'd like to advise our families to do in the sophomore year.
Yeah, so on top of those things that we just talked about, there are some major steps in your sophomore year, and I would have bet $1 you would have said laying foundations on this episode there. So that's what we're doing here. We may not be getting recruited hard and heavy, but we are laying the foundation. So our sophomore year, we want to start thinking and writing down your intro email. And we used to call it a cover letter back in the old days, but we don't send too many snail mail letters anymore. But we want to sit down and talk about and actually start writing an intro email. And that's something that the student needs to do. The parents can look over their shoulder and kind of get the grammar and the periods and everything correct. But we want to let the student write an intro email. And I kind of look back again in episode 131 and episode 200 on the podcast, talk about the intro email. And then if you buy the book, the Athletic Scholarship Playbook, chapter 3 has a whole chapter about writing the email also. So that's going to be a major factor as we go through the recruiting process. And
it's really key because this is that first impression that you're making on college coaches, and you want that to be good. Don't just quickly write this, but as you did this with your son, what did you do as you two worked together on that introductory email or even letters with him?
Yeah, we worked on the the little line up above there to kind of get their attention. So Parker had already taken his ACT his sophomore year, so we were able to put an ACT test score in there. Kind of told he was a lefty in the pitching, and his GPA. So we kind of did that as a highlight. And then we basically just, we personalized it to those coaches and to those programs. So we went through and made sure we used their mascot, used the town that they were in, and tried to personalize that email a little bit, but just basically to introduce Parker to the school and to the coaches.
Excellent. Okay. What else in sophomore year?
Well, and then the second thing, we're going to start working on your athletic profile or a resume. And if you go onto the recruit-me.com website, the very first page has an opportunity for you to download a free power pack. You just put in your email address and you'll get a emailed power pack, and it has a template for this. Now, as you go through this template, you're going to find that there are some holes that are some blocks in this template that you can fill in and some that you can't. So that'll kind of show you what you can work on, what you need, what information you need to get to be able to get ready to send this to coaches down the road.
Okay. So we got the intro email and the athletic profile or resume. Those are a couple things you got there.
Yeah, those are two things. And also, if you want to go back and listen to episode 91 and episode 201, we talk about those. You talk about those more from past episodes, and then chapter 5 of the book also really highlights the resume there.
Okay, excellent. Anything else?
Go on and you go on to eligibilitycenter.org, and you can actually make up an account and if for the NCAA. And so if you're thinking about going Division I or Division II, you do a certification account. Now that does cost like $90. If you're not sure what you're going to do, if you're going to go Division III or you're undecided, you go onto the Eligibility Center and make out a profile page. and that is free. And then if you decide to go Division I or Division II later, you can transfer that information over and then pay your $90. And the reason you want to do that is because you don't want to forget to do that. Because what this does, it's something that you'll need later to compete in Division I, Division II, or Division III. And then if you make an official visit on Division I or Division II schools, or later sign a letter of intent, national letter of intent, you have to be registered in that also. So that's just getting that out of the way, or at least getting it on your radar so that you know that you have to do that.
Okay. Yeah. Eligibilitycenter.org. And that is so key to do that sophomore year, junior year at the latest. It's good to get these things out of the way, isn't it, Brent? To make sure we're not, it gets more intense as the years go by. So you want to take care of these things while the ball's not rolling so fast.
Yeah, your junior year, you're going to go downhill instead of uphill. So
okay.
And also on that, you can register on playnaia.org. So there's Division I, Division II, Division III, NAIA, and there's also junior college. And I'm sorry I didn't research the junior college to see if you have to set up a page for them.
All right.
Yeah, two more things. Start prepping and checking on taking your ACT or your SAT. So you may or may not be ready academically to take those tests. Now's a good time to start prepping for those. You can take classes. You can pay for classes. There's some free stuff. Your school might provide some training for that. There is a cost to taking your ACT and your SAT, so you can get onto ACT.org and check out when those are being given and how much they are. They're like $50, $60, I think. And then college readiness, I think, is the other place that you can go for your SAT.
Okay. Excellent.
And then start preparing videos. So if you get some varsity action, you will probably have some quality videos that you can do. If you played some high level summer leagues, then you might have some video that the parents have taken. There's showcase videos that you might have got. Your schools will usually have like some other, like a source like Huddle is one of them that our school uses, that they actually, especially football games and basketball games and volleyball matches, you'll see a lot of the schools will have that, and you can get your highlight tapes off of those.
Well, when I retired from Recruit Me and you stepped in as a new CEO, I'll tell you, you're really good. And I love the way you really focus on specifics, and you're involved in it right now with your son, and have been involved with Parker a couple of years ago. And this is, folks, take advantage of Brent's experience and the real-time experience he has right now. Man, this has been a great episode. We're down to the last 60 seconds or so. Any closing thoughts, Brent?
Yeah, and just remember, you may or may not be ready to send all this stuff out, but get it prepared and be ready for what's coming your junior year.
And that's what we're going to cover next week, right?
Yep, we're going to do the third year, the junior year, and that's when it really gets hot and heavy. And I want to remind you, as Brent mentioned, to download the Power Pack, because you can get the template for the athletic profile, the player profile, the resume. Make sure you get that at recruitme.com, recruit-me.com. It goes great with this 4-part series. And it's also a good time right now to step up in the super packed Recruit Me 3.0 athletic scholarship system. Go ahead and get that. In fact, thank you to our new clients who have come on board here in the last day or two. We appreciate you. And you've got your CEO special going now, Brent. You've really knocked down the price. Yeah, we wanted to get off to a good start, and it's a bargain at $127, but we're doing it for $99. So for less than $100, you're going to get really all this information we've been talking about and you've talked about for the last couple of years on your podcast. It's really a condensed version. You get a lot of templates, how to write that intro email. It has more information on that resume. And it really has just 200 plus pages that you can go through and as a family really step up your recruiting process.
And that's at recruitme.com/system. Tell your friends, other families about this podcast, and especially this series where we're going through the 4 years of high school and what to do each year. We're going to hit on the junior year next year, that critical junior year. Get as much information as you can. share it with other people, talk about it, discuss it. Well, Brent, we'll be back again next week, and I hope that your travels go well.
We'll see you from Lubbock.